is Tom Doody, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Doody in a Google search for my site. From the book 1912, Wilson, Roosevelt, Taft, and Debs, The Election That Changed the Country by James Chas, page 95 through 100. Part 2 continued on resume on page 99. In an article in the Outlook in mid-November 1911, Roosevelt once again maintained that he had acted in the public interest. He criticized the Taft administration for its policy of destruction of the trust and urged a thorough-going of effective regulation of trust by government commissions. He would be comparable in power to Interstate Commerce Commission. He would even go as far as give that body the power to set prices on commodities produced by monopoly. Once again, Roosevelt had put forth his view on how the trust should be handled. He was certain that big business was here to stay and that a distinction should be made between size and behavior. His commission would compel transparency of accounts, and if investigation disclosed the existence of a monopoly, the commission would have two choices. If unethical practices had created the monopoly, then the trust would be dissolved under the Sherman Act. If the monopoly had come about through natural growth, which Roosevelt believed U.S. Steel had, the commission should control it by setting maximum prices for the products, just as if Interstate Commerce Commission set maximum freight rates. But in addition, TR thought that the commission should also be concerned with the treatment of employees and should have authority over hours, wages, and conditions of labor. To Roosevelt's thinking, big business required big government. He proposed to govern. This had been the case when powerful men such as J.P. Morgan fought TR when he initiated a suit in 1902 to break up the Northern Securities Holding Company, which was created to include lending railroads in Northwest. Morgan thought he could bargain with the president man to man, but Roosevelt made it clear that government was to be a superior rather than a negotiating partner. If we were done something wrong, Morgan said to Roosevelt, send your man to my man, they can fix it up. Roosevelt refused. We don't want to fix it up. We want to stop it. Are you going to attack my own interests? Morgan asked the Steel Trust and others. Certainly not, said Roosevelt, unless we find out that in any case they have done something that we regard as wrong. Roosevelt's article in the Outlook argued his case for helping Morgan halt the panic of 1907, while at the same time reiterating his belief that trust must be supervised by government, revived talk among politicians of his possible candidacy in the 1912 presidential election. Moreover, Roosevelt himself still deeply argued that Taft, for initiating the suit against U.S. Steel, wrote in a letter on December 23, 1911, that he had not seen the Outlook article as bringing me forward to the presidential nomination. At the same time, he declared that most emphatically did not wish the nomination. But as this was key to his thinking, I do not feel it would be the right and proper for me to say under no circumstances I would accept it if it came, because while wildly improbable, it was yet possible that there might be a public demand which would present the matter to me in light of a duty which I could not shirk. Roosevelt was also aware that there was only one man outside of Taft who stood in the way of his nomination. and that was Senator Robert Lafayette of Wisconsin. This has been Tom Doody, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Doody in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, or restful night's sleep. Ciao.